Hey you guys, what's up? It's Christian from SuperKamiGuru9000 and I'm here to review One Piece episode 565. It was awesome. I always start out that way, but honestly it really was. It was a great episode. We got to see Luffy use Redhawk, which was really cool. But if you ask me, the star of the show, this episode had to be Brook with his ice sword, that freezes you from the land of the dead. And let's jump into the review. So again, for the most part, this episode was really solid. I didn't really have any complaints. I think everything that we saw was really cool. The main thing that I would say is, again, this isn't really a complaint. I just was kind of surprised about this. They seem to focus a lot on Brook and his ice sword, and not so much on Luffy using his the Redhawk, obviously a tribute to Ace. Now, I think that it was more so hinted at in this episode versus the manga representing this, that it was like a tribute to Ace. That might just be me, but when I read this manga chapter, I didn't see all this symbolism towards Ace. I sort of figured it out as I was reading it, but this time they just hammer it in. They're just like, it's Ace, you see him switch bodies and stuff, and it just sort of struck me as they're just really hammering that symbolism in, that it has a lot to do with Ace, with that move, and Luffy, Now, the other thing is, I don't really understand how Luffy makes his arm catch on fire. Is it that it's so fast that it catches fire? Because Luffy does not have, the fire power like Ace did with his Devil Fruit powers. So it's kind of confusing. And if it moves so fast, it must move really fast because it was also underwater. I don't know. But again, in my opinion, the star of the show this episode was really Brook and his ice sword fighting the striped fisherman that can turn invisible. And you also had a little bit of Usopp in there, and we got to see Chopper use his full form, even though he can still control it now, and that's the only thing he needs the Rumble Ball for. So all his other transformations are just instantaneous now. And it was cool, and it's creepy as hell listening to Chopper talk in his, monster form with, I don't know what that effect is on the voice actor's voice, but it was, kind of creepy. For some reason, I still expected Chopper to still have his normal voice. I don't know why, so it kind of threw me off when that happened. But again, Brook stole the show this episode. It wasn't even really a competition for me. I always think Brook is one of the most interesting characters in the sense that he can be completely goofy, and then at the same time he is completely creepy because he is like a skeleton. The skeleton is talking to you, and and he's also a pretty good fighter now, especially after the time skip. So again, this is a really solid episode of One Piece. I really wish that it would have focused more on Luffy using the Redhawk move. They did sort of get back to Luffy setting up his last fight with Hody Jones, or I'm assuming it's the last fight because, they're on the ship and everything. And I remember what happens next in the manga. I don't want to spoil it for you guys if you're just anime-only watchers. But yeah, they're setting up for one of their last fights, and it's going to be cool. But at the same time, I just felt like they kind of glanced and just were like, Redhawk, real quick, boom. And then Brook sort of took over the show, and Usopp got a few things. And it just it didn't feel like they did the Redhawk justice, in my opinion. But it was still a cool move, and I'm glad that they really built up the symbolism, showing you that it's, representing Ace, and how this is the move that shows that Luffy will never let anyone die. And, I mean, he used a bazooka on Hody Jones, and it didn't work. So I guess, this is about as far as Luffy gets pushed in this arc. And the Redhawk is a good payoff for that, but at the same time, I think a lot of people always wish that we could see the Straw Hats go straight out after the time skip and, use all their new moves, but at the same time, that's not what this arc was about. So that is my thoughts on One Piece 565. Let me know below with your comments what you guys thought of it. Did you guys like the Redhawk? Did you think Brook stole the show like I did? Just let me know with your comments below. And also, if you enjoy these videos, please give them a thumbs up. It always helps. And until next time, you guys, SuperKamiGuru9000 out.